While that's thinking, I'm going to go look at my other computer. Yep, looks like YouTube and Rumble are doing fine, and it looks like not Rumble, Twitch and Rumble is doing fine, but YouTube's still being a pain in the butt. There it goes. Sometimes, I don't know where I'm going with that statement. Sometimes YouTube is a pain in the butt. But then again, just asking everybody who does YouTube for a living, and that's generally the norm, not the exception. Okay, Rumble, I think everything is good to go now. So my apologies for the delay if whoever, a couple people maybe are joining the stream, maybe not, but let's go ahead and get started. I have a whole lot of replays today, though I should check my Gmail. You know likes to send me replays. Let's see if you know, send me replays. Oh, actually, I do actually have a replay. Not from but from somebody else. Perfect. Let's go ahead and get that one loaded. A bit late today in my stream, my apologies, but I do actually have a replay, but not from which is great. I always love it when people send me replays, especially people who haven't sent me a replay before. It may show up, I may need to relaunch the game, so I'm going to cast one regular game. That replay's not good. I'm going to cast one game with somebody. Actually, no, this is actually it. Did it actually immediately load? Fine by me. Let's go ahead and get it started. Oh, wait. I got to pull up this to see the chat window. And let's go ahead and get started. Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Relic 3 replay spawn. Top right side as the Blue Empire, we have Ideal Blue. Perfect, he's blue and his name is Ideally Blue, so perfect. Spawn on the bottom left side as the orange player, we have E1, A2. We have, looks like a handful of Dojo cores being deployed on out. We've got Doogie advancing forward. The Dojo core could run him over. Over here, one Dojo core has been deployed out, and do have a Dojo core here with an Imperial Warrior advancing forward. Over here, we do actually have a... Wait, that's a U.S. Allied combat engineer, not U.S. Too much company heroes. But either way, we do have a handful of peacekeepers, engineers deployed out second after the dog. So we do actually have quite a bit of aggression being deployed out by Orange. Got some shotguns hitting the Dojo core here. And it looks like the Empire player has secured up the oil deck. Does get a full cash rebate or cash refund for that engineer. Instant Dojo's now receiving some fire, nothing being deployed out. So the U.S. I keep on saying U.S. Allied engineer will capture the oil derrick, and looks like the Empire managed to claim the other oil derrick as well. So far it is just pure profit for the Empire player, barring the cost of Dojo cores. We also got an open wall segment here. I'm not sure why there's one. It does throw up some walls and additional walls. And you have Imperial Warriors now engaging the Javelin troops. These Javelin troops are unsupported, and the dog does go down to the Imperial Warriors. One of the javelins do get shot up. The one is stunned by the dog. Peacekeepers are withdrawing. There's a lot of peacekeepers in this region. Blue's making his withdrawal down south. We've got a burst drone on top of the Prospector. That wall segment has been rebuilt, so we've got a bunch of corner pieces. And now we got a bit of sell-off there, cancel on that wall segment, and the Imperial Warriors making their way back up north. We still got an instant Dojo here. This oil derrick still claimed by the Allies. Well, it'll take a bit of time to get a profit from it, while these, both oil derricks have been profit for the Empire player. So overall, the Empire player is in a good position. We got a wave of peacekeepers advancing forward. We got a handful of... It was all space, right? Oh, I'm hitting cap locks, not the shifts. I don't know why I was hitting cap locks and not the shift spell to get the health bars up. We do got the instant dojo being instantly destroyed. And not exactly instantly, there's a horrible pun there. We got 2 elite peacekeepers in that region, and then Pure Warriors will take a bit of time to put the oil derrick. They should be successful, however, and peacekeepers will be successful as well to destroy the oil derrick. Vindicator coming up forward. He great bomb splitters identified the wounded target and threw 2 bombs on the high health targets while killing off 2 of them. That bit of kills there. He maybe will save the oil derrick, though there's nothing coming up here to save it. So we got more Imperial Warriors, and they will quickly destroy off the oil derrick now. Peacekeepers advancing forward. They do spot Striker VXs on the ground. They could transform. They will do pathetic damage versus the Peacekeepers, but they will at least be immune to shotguns, even though shotguns are pretty useful at shooting air targets. It's called skeet shooting and trap shooting. Oh! Now got the Pure Warriors charging on forward, but that won't accomplish all too much. And holy crap, that was a lot of good kills there. And I don't know why, it seemed like the Imperial Warriors got a lot of slices in. But either way, the Tsunami got some great crushes there. All the Imperial Warriors do go down, and all the Peacekeepers have now gone down. We do got a Vindicator now flying about. We do have the 2 Apollos and escort as well. 1 Jet Tango is not as great versus those targets, but they do have a good number of Striker VX support. Apollos will get gunned down 1 of the Jet Tengus, and both Vindicators have fallen back. The wounded one will withdraw to get much needed healing. Now we've got some Chopper VXs up in the air with some Jet Tengus support. The Apollos are flying about, getting some good reconnaissance. Tsunami Tank is still out on the ground, and Vindicator is coming in for a bombing run. Oh, I thought I heard some of the Jet Tangus get shot down by the Apollos. Very nice. Now we've got a refinery core. He does spot the fresh refinery. He may bomb it. One Apollo does go down. Vindicators still coming for a bombing run there. I don't know what he killed off. I think it was some Mega Tengus. By the way, we do got good damage on both sides, to say the least. We do have now multi-gunner IFE deployed on out. Over here, we've got the Tsunami Tank making its way onto land. You may hear my drink opening on up. More wall segments being deployed. Very nice. And we do got an instant... Oh, there's actually a hole there. Let's use a crowd shot there. It's way off center, and the Ore Collector will avoid even being chilled. One of the wall segments does get frozen, but that's a very, very small gain from that. Motor Gunner IVs and advancing forward, trying to gauge the Jet Tengu or Mecha Tengus. Striker VXs on the ground, of course, cannot shoot at ground targets. Maybe a bit more important to get out these wall segments. We've got a nice point defense drone, big transform there. Both sides setting on up. Vindicators advancing forward. And now we do have the Jet Tangus engaging the Apollos. One of the Apollos does go down there. But we do got some great damage from the Motogun IVs. A reverse moving, getting some great damage down the Chopper VX. The Chopper VX is trying to get in front of the Motogunner IVs in order to prevent them from being fired up. A great reverse move there by the Motogunner IFEs. Now we've got the Jet Tangus engaging the Prospector as well as the Chopper VXs onto the armor facility. Both of the Chopper VXs lands to Striker VXs and does not focus on the wounded Mega Tengu. He could transfer. Oh, he does get the kill there. Both the Striker VXs go down to the Apollos or Vindicators. When the Vindicators do go down, both Vindicators go down. Heroic Jet Tango goes down. Multiple Jet Tangos being shot out of the sky. We do have a pair of Apollos in pursuit. The Jet Tangos do transform into the Mecha Tangos. And we do have a Javelin Troop on the field, but that won't really accomplish all too much. Those Apollos are going to stay up the air in order to prevent them from being shot on the deck. Vindicator comes in for, he's definitely trying to micro the bombs, trying to split his bombs, but he needed level 3 on that wounded one either way. War Collector will go down, at least by the honorable discharge. We got an expansion here, and expansion out at sea as well. We do have a Multi-Gunner IFV, and the burst drone still on top of this Prospector. Very nice. We got a Defender VX here. Unusual thing to see, but he wants to get some static anti-aircraft. And it will be very useful in case of Peacekeepers advance forward as well, since they can switch into its twin gun mode, which will give it pretty good anti-infantry effect. And Peacekeepers, we all know Peacekeepers are very common. We got a crowd shot there, unsuccessful. He probably did that in just in order to stop his opponent from advancing, not necessarily to do damage, just simply to stall. Our facility is almost at full health. Hopefully that is a Guardian tank awaiting deployment. Yep, a Guardian tank awaiting deployment. And we'll receive quite a bit of fire there. We've got a handful of Javelin troops here, another Multi-Gunner IFV. We've got some tank busts in the mix as well. We'll be able to get some good damage in. Laser Lock being cast, Laser Lock is a horrible idea at this moment in time. And those of the Tsunami tanks are advancing forward, trying to get some good damage on in. Our facility is going on down. And we've got another Guardian tank deployed on out. Both Guardian tanks are still up and going. This Guardian tank is charging forward, trying to get some crushes, getting some good crushes there. All the tank busters are down. This Guardian tank is still alive. This Guardian tank has gone down. This one is severely wounded. Maybe we'll try to crush the Peacekeepers at the current rate, or Imperial Warriors. Structure Yard receiving quite a bit of fire. We do got a single Multi-Gunner IFV, not loaded up with anything, pushing its way forward. And now the Construction Yard is receiving quite a bit of fire. Does transform it there, does spoil a Multi-Gunner IFV. That's a good static defense there. We've got some tank busts now in the mix as well. MCV has backed them up, needs to get into a nearby repair location. Tsunami tank is one shot away from death. He needs to retarget to it manually, but he's not. And the MCV does go down. Great bomb there runs onto the tank busters there. Apollo does land there as well. Got mostly. Oh, fire some rounds on deck. But either way, we do have a seaport still on the field, so he does have access to rebuild his MCV. Javelin Troop does take out the. Oh, there's actually an engineer there. I'm not sure why there was an engineer there. Maybe that was supposed to be loaded from that Multi-Gunner IFV that charged forward. Vindicator's coming on in. Oh, he did not have enough bombs. He needs to sell off the power plant to get out the Peacekeeper. The Peacekeeper does get the kill. Wasn't a sell-off, but either way, got the Peacekeeper out to destroy the Tsunami tank. Javelin Troop does get some good damage there. We got these Jet Tangos trying to camp the deck. That's completely... There is still one Apollo there, but the Apollo will get quickly outgunned. We got Javelin Troop on the ground, but does get cleaned up by the Mecha Tengu. Prospector's getting some much needed repairs. It's actually sitting at the command post there. Here comes the Javelin Troop, trying to gun down the Apollo on the deck. Not really being successful. Does get a good kill there. If he tries to transform with his Jet Tangos and Mecha Tangos, the Vindicators just fly up and bomb them. He cannot land. The Javelin Troops are getting some great damage from the ground. He needs to get the... There's the Apollos going on up. Great point defense drone there. They're severely winning though. Javelin Troops are getting ground up one by one. You have this ore refiner going on down. Apollo flies about, does get receive quite a bit of fire. That's a Riptide, not an MCV. And Cryo Blast now being deployed on out. And sells off the ore refinery. Does get a Peacekeeper out. The Peacekeeper needs to push on forward to start shattering these forces. He's not shattering it. That one does get cleaned on up. This one was still not being masked properly. Riptide has been deployed out, will slowly gun down these forces. Vindicator's coming on in. Does avoid the bombing run there. Another Chopper VX should be able to get some good damage in. The Apollo needs to rotate over and hit that Chopper VX. Riptide does stay alive, but barely. Oh, and the Carcass actually takes out the Riptide. Command Hub has been put out. Command Hub has been destroyed. Good bomb runs there on both of those Tsunami tanks, taking them both out. I've got some more Tsunami tanks, Imperial Warriors, and a Tank Buster advancing forward, trying to deal with the power plant. Great bomb runs there. Oh, there's actually 2 fully heroic Vindicators, and now the last other one is Elite as well. That is able to do successful bomb runs even against Tsunami tanks. That veterancy is going to pay dividends. That burst drone's still there. While flying about, we do have a handful of Tsunami tanks, and he should be able to pick off at least 2 of them. Not sure if the Elite one can pick off one on its own. If it doesn't have nano reflectors, it can. Now, the reflectors, of course, does make them survive a bomb and run. So we got a handful of infantry units there. You may want to get the Javelin troop inside one of the multi-gun turrets. I'm not so sure how effective a missile Javelin multi-gun turret is, but there's a lot of armor here. The very elite Air Force is still up in the air, coming for a bomb run. It's also maybe a bit overkill with all the veterancy, honestly. But what if all that veterancy allows them to take a run at an Ore Collector? Ore Collectors take 5 bombing runs from Vindicators, 3 bombs each. I wonder if that veterancy will give them reduce a bomb run. It was a little bit too close to multi-gun turret, sells off. The Chopper VX is still chilled rather than being on the ground. And the multi-gun IV is going now, does take up the tank buster there. That was more slowing down. He actually threw some of his own infantry into there as well. Big bomb runs coming forward, gained some great damage there, but the point defense drone do protect him quite a bit. Got quite a bit of infantry here. Got Riptide here as well. MCV needs to get back out to sea and get towards that naval yard for repairs. Because right now there's just too many tank busters for that MCV to advance forward. Warfighting's pushing way forward. Got a handful of Riptides advancing forward. Here comes a big bomb run there. I'm not sure if the extra efficiency allows them to get good splash damage or not. Riptides are slowly gunning down these forces. Does have a back line multi-gunner turret. The command hub's trying to be deployed on out. Does get a kill there on the tank busters, just leaving 1 remaining. He's some good bombing runs there. Doesn't have time to bomb micro, and I think those guys will load up 1 or 2 bombs each, not even a full bombing run, which is actually fine, seeing he didn't have time to micro them up anyways. Chopper VX pushing way forward. Does have the heroic Apollo now engaging, guns down the Chopper VX, and knocks around the tank buster, forcing him into the gunfire of the 50 cals. Going for the tank busters first, very good micro there. Got more bomb runs onto the Striker VXs. Handful of Riptides are quite wounded. He may want to fall back with both of those to get healing up. The even more wounded one is Elite, so get 1 more level of veterancy, he does become fully heroic. Command Hub does allow him to deploy out that fresh refinery. And that burst drone still on top of there. If you compare the amount of ore collected on this each one, it could have done around 3,000 credits worth of damage so far. Not sure which one he deployed out first though. Does get a nice dodge there with the Chopper VX. He does fall back to the armor facility, very good. Even though they're built at the naval yard, these repair drones don't discriminate. Striker VX's advanced force, so are the Chopper VX's. He needs to fall back. There's a bit too many Chopper VX's there. All does fall back as well. Bombing runs come on forward. Let's get 2 kills there, and thanks to the extra veterancy of his air forces, he's able to withstand extra damage there. We've got Crowcopter here, trying to freeze down the one on the ground. Good bombing run on the other one that got transformed on the ground, and has to rely on the repairs of the airfield in order to stay alive. A little bit too much damage there to land. Does get a nice bombing run there. Takes the extra veterancy, he's able to quickly pick off these guys. You got Imperial Warriors and Parasunion tanks advancing forward. MCV has mostly not been near the naval yard the entire time. Snom tanks trying to displace this naval yard. Of course, the construction yard does have heightened clearance, so we could simply see assault destroyers trying to freeze both these Snom tanks. Does shrink them down. Needs to freeze them, but the bomb runs will quickly kill them off either way. Not really actually getting proper freeze micro there. There we go. And now we got Imperial Warriors and more tank busters being deployed on out. We got another Defender Corps being deployed now, trying to make sure he has 80 aircraft forces to engage the Chopper VXs, or the Crowcopter should say. Great Javelin troops there, trying to go for that heroic Apollo there, was unsuccessful. Does spot a Crowcopter there, go down, and now maybe just trying to camp the deck. Oh, he was not paying attention. Wait, there's Yuriko. I was not paying attention. I did not see the Yuriko. Sells off all this infrastructure right there. With the Yuriko there, he's going to quickly lose everything there. And Yuriko has a wall. He needs to sell off these wall segments. And he, oops, I can click the map there. Takes out all of those Javelin troops there, thanks to Yuriko's psionic scream. That's why I said he needed to sell those wall segments. He did not. And takes out the dog as well. Yuriko's not what I'm expecting. I was not paying attention. That's why he's trying to abandon deck. Sells off all this infrastructure there. There's too many jet tankers in this region. All from fight veteran, though one does go down. And Yuriko is fully heroic. We got a fresh naval air base right here. Does spot, however, the Prospector and quickly guns it down. Something deployed out by the air seaport. Could be a Assault Destroyer. I don't know what will be useful right now. Aircraft carrier. That could be useful versus Yuriko. Let's take up the MCV as well. MCV's gone down. Naval Yard's gone down. EMP's himself. And that is going to be game. That Yuriko probably what made him win the game at that moment. Taking out the airfield and taking all those air forces. He needed that air force. That was his only way to stop the tide of Chopper VXs, Striker VXs, and the Tsunami tanks. By the way, this is Andgrade saying thank you for watching. On to the next replay. Oops, I'm not sure about that. I wonder as well, was that the replay Yep. Yep, that was the replay that the person submitted to me. Apparently, Relic 3 is pretty good at loading up replays when they're not there. I am sort of a bit curious as well about something. If I were to temporarily remove this replay, does it actually disappear? Sorry, I'm just a little bit curious. Yep, it actually does update in real live time. That's pretty good. I was just a bit curious. Sorry for my curiosity. But yeah, let's go ahead and go on to the next replay then. Let's just do this Magmageddon. Greetings everyone, and Grade here for another Red Alert 3 replay. Spawn on top left side as the blue random allies. We have Never Cheese. Spawn on the left side as the cyan allies. We have H2O God of War. Spawn on the south side as their magenta Empire play. We have Aurora. Spawn on the bottom right side as the red allies. We have ASDFGHJK period. Spawn on the right side as their orange Soviet ally. We have Ismail, who's actually selected random, and as the yellow allies, we have Pavel Superstar. We do have, looks like a bunch of doggies being employed on out. Dogs being employed out here as well. Down south, we got Dojo Cores. Dojo Cores cannot crush dogs out at sea, though it'll probably be pretty easy to do that, as that's called any hovercraft. You don't want to be underneath the hovercraft. You will be crushed. Because that's going to be a lot. All the pressure is meant to keep the hovercraft floating. It will be applied directly to you. Similar way, if you've ever been underneath a chopper, you don't want to be underneath a chopper while taking off or landing. We've got some Dojo Cores being floated out over here. Over here, we've got a dog at sea. And some cyan dogs advancing towards orange as well. And we do got a bunch of walls being deployed on out. Laser lock javelin there. Let's see as the wall segment pause for a moment. Does take up that Dojo Core there. This one won't be able to accomplish all too much at the current rate. Up north, we do got a naval yard here. Looks like yellow lost a dog. Orange will stun. That's blue's dog. And the sea bear attacked. He did not draw a circle. I don't think dogs are very good at drawing circles. Got multiple barks there, but Red's dog does not get barked on, and he's taking out the javelin troops, and Red does finish off all the other forces. That is, however, a hostile Dojo Core there, which may crush these forces. Does get a nice body block there with his wall segments. And Orange advancing forward with MCV now. We do have a red dog out at sea, red dog at the ore location, but may not be actually blocking the ore farming. Maybe slightly is. And Orange's MCV has pulled on forward. Up north, we do got a handful of peacekeepers, a bit larger than a handful. And a yellow dog and orange bear. I see. Started deploying out a war factory there. Looks like he does have a crusher crane. We got a bunch of laser locks there, lining it up. He does not cancel it, so he's going to sell it off. Nope, he's going to try to save up some barracks. Stops there, pulling out some wall segments. More barracks. Trying to interrupt the last site there. He needs to get out a sickle. And there's a sickle right there, but there's a lot of Riptides in the reach as well. And the javelin troops are getting some good hits down the sickle as well. The sickle won't accomplish all too much. Orange is pushing way forward. We got a pair of flak tower and a Tesla core wind for it, and the flak tower is actually focused first. Sickle does get a bit of a small jump there, knocking back the javelin troops. Does got two of the javelin troops, three of the javelin troops have gone down. Does get a laser lock that side and does destroy the terror drone that came out. Volley blocks the javelin troop there. Got Riptides being pulled up by a red, supporting Orange's advance. We also have a multi-gun turret here as well as a flak tower. Looks the Tesla coil does go down. That one does get canceled. And this war factory is still up and going. His teammates bringing in some bomb Vindicators. Just now a Peacekeeper there. And a Riptide for Cyan. Up north we got the Vindicators bombing Yellow's various Peacekeepers. And now we got multiple structures going down quite a bit. And I think the web browser I was using to view my stuff may have crashed. I don't know why it's pulling another browser. Something for later. And it looks like it's still streaming, which is good. I think there may be some technical issues on my side, but I'll worry about that later. Motorgun turrets now seeing quite a bit of fire from javelin troops. His teammate has deployed out a boot camp here. Orange MCV is still in the region trying to crush stuff. Motorgun turret still up and going. Red is advancing forward with a pair of Riptides, but they're getting picked apart. They're not anti-building nor anti-vehicle. Javelin troops coming forward. Gates quick hits down the Motorgun turret. Motorgun turret does go down. His two teammates have two javelin troops in this region. And also Orange's Tesla coil has been pulling out, but his MCV is quite wounded. He's pulling out a barracks for an engineer. We got a Dolphin statistically taking out a prospector. And now we got a big wave of peacekeepers advancing forward. killing off all these peacekeepers are coming out as well. Yellow has a small number, needs to get out a multi-gun turret and load up a peacekeeper in the back of it. And Orange's MCV may go down. He does have a pressure crane, but no, Orange's MCV will stay alive. And we do have an engineer deployed out by his teammate. Gets an instant repair on his teammate's MCV. Very, very good teamwork. We got a triple advance to the science base. Orange still has a testicle in this region, and Orange also has a engineer that does get taken out by the honorable discharge. Did not get crushed. Signed to play on multi-gun turret there as well. Got laser blocks hitting Magenta's Mecha Bay. Yellow has a firing line of peacekeepers, but they can't take on walls. More combat engineers being deployed on out, and does get taken out by the multi-gun turret. MCV is advancing north. We do have some dolphins over here. We've got a crowd blast coming forward. This is likely from Blues. And we'll create an opening there. Maybe we'll get the power plant as well. Sells it off at the last moment. And now Yellow's going to try to pick off these peacekeepers. They should be successful. Though there's another heroic peacekeepers for Blue. It does take out that one as well. And looks like Blue will actually hold out his advance. But it's going to be down to one peacekeeper. It's not going to be very effective. Cyan has Magenta has backed out of the game, giving all the structures to Blue, which he needs to perhaps just mass sell off everything. There's nothing worth left fighting for there. Does have a engineer there. Big bomb run. And that was Orange's Crusher Crane. Wait. Orange has an airfield. Where is Orange's MCV? Orange's MCV is actually advancing forward. I forgot. His own MCV got repaired by his teammate's engineer. Rex Boy out multi-gun tried to support Orange's MCV, and out of point out boot camp out as well. Laser lock coming on forward onto Orange's MCV. He does have a structure capability. He does pack on up to disrupt the laser lock there. We've got multiple IFV multi-gun turrets deployed out by team left side. Orange will need to back off of his MCV. We've got a boot camp here, but it will be destroyed. Cyan's base, however, is pretty good. It does MCV and at least two sets of refineries. Oil deck, another center refinery right there. So Cyan does have the tools to get back in the game. And there goes Orange's MCV. Orange did lose his Crusher Crane. Does have some boot barracks around here, as well as a lot of bears. We got Yellow's MCV advancing away from the engagement. What does Orange have? Just barracks. That's not a lot. In fact, he can't deploy out any replacement MCV. Oh, he does have an airfield here. Oh, he also does have a Crusher Crane out at sea in a very, very precarious position. He needs to deploy out War Factory in the teammate's base, or his own base, whatever it deems his base at the time. We do have another barrack boot camp being frozen down there. Yellow's MCVs receive quite a fire. There's quite a bit of force here. His teammates may need to pull out some forces. He needs to throw something inside the moving gun turret, anything infantry unit. I don't know if consoles work to make a shotgun turret there. I've got a big wave of Riptides going straight for Yellow's expansions. And that is a massive fight of peacekeepers, but they're all bunched up. It can be very deadly for either side. Up here, we got a handful of forces. Blue has a massive force here. It does have air support. Takes out both the boot camp and the multi-gunner turret. We got a flak tower deployed out by his teammate and some bears, as was a pair of boot camps. Both of those Vindicators do go down to the Apollo. Apollo seeing a lethal amount of shots there. And now Red has an air base next to Orange's air base, which can be very, very precarious position, but does, of course, allow them a very good point here for bombing runs. Rapid reloads position. Yellow's pushing forward with some peacekeepers. There is a wall segment there, but not enough income for a full wall segment. Does get the full wall segment now, and the peacekeeper does get frozen there. Orange is pulling out Tesla Coil there, which would be very effective versus infantry and vehicles. Just lack the related rate of fire. If you want to increase the rate of fire, maybe get some Tesla troopers in order to supercharge it. That increases the rate of fire, right? Or just increase damage. The Obelisk of Light in Tibor's 3 and Kane's Wrath gets both increased range, damage, and rate of fire when it's charged up by beam cannons. I'm not sure if it's exactly the same with Tesla coils. Up north. Oh, that was apparently not very good crowd getting, unless there's a lot of shadow stuff that they already went away. Red's pushing way forward with some Peacekeepers. Blue's gone for a 4 expansion. And Blue does have a significant number of Riptides here to slowly gun down the infantry. Riptides now making way out to sea. He needs to get out, deploy out. Oh, Dreadnoughts. But he needs some Stingrays. Stingrays are one of those few times that they would be very useful. Monogon turret has been pulled out. There's also flak power here as well. A lot of veteran and elite Riptides there. We got Crusher Crane here being pulling out. He does lose the Crusher Crane. Not sure if there's any deployment of any production structures back and forth. Cryo Blast has come forward. And here comes a Cool Sub. Cool Subs are strong. There's a lot of Riptides here. And a bugged out structure piece there, reaching out to space. Looks like yellow is low in power, so the Multigunner IP does go down, and the Riptides do force out torpedoes that hit the Kula sub. Another bombing run there on Naval Yard, but you got another Kula sub deployed out. Naval Yard will go down. Just did fire some ultra torpedoes there. Or maybe that was just regular torpedoes. Getting some veterancy for the Kula sub. Not sure if this one give him fully heroic or just another to elite. Does get him full elite status. I'm not sure. Does Orange have a war factory back home? I know he has barracks. Lots of barracks. And we do actually have a spy here deployed out by yellow. We have these laser locks here that basically a way to prevent the assault destroyers from advancing forward with the black hole armor. And here comes a spy. Over here, we do got Natasha. And Orange does have a Iron Curtain, a Battle Lab, but no Naval Yard nor War Factory. I want to keep an eye on the spy. Natasha will get bombed by all the Vindicators. He can redeploy another one since he does have Battle Labs, the Battle Lab, not Battle Labs, but just a Battle Lab. Dolphin ripping apart that Prospector. The spy is still in this region. I am very curious about that spy. While that's going on, I'm going to open up my drink. Got more challenges being pulled on out. Over here, we've got Cyan backing off some Peacekeepers. And we do got a assault destroyer being pulled out on the field. We've got multiple assault destroyers. We've got a big setup on both sides. There's also another spy over here. We've got multiple spies on the field. One from each side, so who knows how that's going to go. We got a Cryo Blast or Cryo getting deployed out right there. And Bear's getting some great roars there. We got Flak Troopers for air support. And it'll take a bit of time for these forces to get cleaned up by Flak Troopers, and those Bears do get shattered. These Flak Troopers are not going to accomplish all too much versus Peacekeepers. And Assault Destroyer looks like got EMP. There must be a nearby aircraft carrier. I see the aircraft carrier pushing forward. That is a massive Cryogeddon. Doesn't get the black hole armor up in time. We've got a spy here. Claims Assault Destroyer does get killed off there. Assault Destroyer does go down. Another Cryo battle class being going out, but the black hole armor of the Assault Destroyer will be very useful, preventing that freeze effect. Natasha's still out in the region, got still a good win Peacekeeper. I don't think he killed off all the infantry that was frozen. Got a Spectrum Tower as well, but getting lased by the Athena cannon. All Assault Destroyers are down, but it looks like Blue's streaming forward with more and more Peacekeepers, but another crowd getting put out by another player. Does get some of the backline frozen. The Athena cannons do a great job of preventing a lot of freezes, but not all of them. Natasha does get gunned down by the Athena cannon. He needed that from Natasha, that's for sure. That Natasha was going to be very needed, necessary fighting against all the infantry. Got another soldier short to play on the field. Got another spy here. Not sure where blue spy may have went. May have been dead. Now got a lot of veterans on these Athena cannons. Spy right there. Another Spectrum Tower there. Not sure how effective it's. Okay, that was a very good shot there on the Athena cannon. I think so the Spectrum Tower does go through black hole armor. Athena cannon still pose a bit of a problem there. We got mass flak trooper and some bears, but may need just more bears. Bears can be quickly gunned down. Let's get some good roars there. Get them all roared down. Flak troopers are going to take down those crowdcopters. Bears charge on forward, trying to deal with all these infantry. There are a lot of them stunned. We've got more forces streaming on in. The mass flak troopers not being very effective. Spy is still alive. And these forces does get overwhelmed. Just needed conscripts in general. Flak troopers are good versus those crowdcopters for sure, but he had no way to kill off all these forces quick enough when the bears roared on them. He's putting more and more roars, more infantry streaming on forward. Orange does not have the Iron Curtain anymore, nor the Battle Lab. Got multiple shields being put out by the Athena cannons. Yellow's assault is getting overwhelmed on Tanya out in the field. Got the fully automatic shotgun just ripping apart as much as it can. A lot of these infantry forces does get cleaned on up. See a lot of frozen forces, and that's not sure from what. Some players been backed out of the game. Looks like orange. Looks like red back out of the game, giving all the infrastructure to orange. Not sure. And looks like team right side has surrendered. This is Ann Great saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. And while that's going on, I need to figure out why did one of my web browser closed? Okay, nope, it's still up and going. For some more reason, my screen just decided to minimize the browser I use to monitor the streams. Yeah. I know you can't connect the back end. And I'm missing all the buttons. Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Relic 3 replay. Spawn on top right side as the green allies, we have Midori. Spawn on bottom left side as the random blue allies, we have XHR7U8BG0MGHETX438YB. I'm not saying that again. Do have a boot camp deployed on the field, not the big surprise, though I suppose it is possible, not uncommon to see fast airfield opener. We got some doggies to employ it out, and depending how this dog fight goes, that's usually mean aircraft, but depending how the dogs play with each other, it can change the course of the game, or maybe nothing will happen. Peacekeeper now advancing forward. Dog is backing on off. We've got doggy going out to sea. Got another doggy out to sea. And the engineer will throw himself into the oil derrick. This engineer will also throw himself in the oil derrick. Green has claimed his first. Now got two green dogs versus one blue dog. And great bark there by blue. And of course, 2 beats 1. It is, of course, a dog eats dog world. We got some peacekeepers being deployed out from both sides. There's like 6 so far for blue, 6 for green, a 7th one being deployed out. Both sides are streaming in more peacekeepers. Looks like blue did say a bit more damage there. 2 of them about to go down. Good hits there on one of them. Got some more peacekeepers being deployed on now. And green has dogs everywhere. It does interrupt the force match. They're forced out a motor gun turret with that. both sides now forming up, trying to get some more better angle. This observation post can cause some choke points, which can either be good or bad. It gives a lot of damage to these, so you can get a little good focus firing, but you will see a lot of splash damage because shotguns for Peacekeepers do splash damage. We got a dog scouting out his opponent. MCV is packing up, going away from the seat, keeping the multi-gun turret there. He spent money on it, might as well keep it there. Vindicator being pulled out by Green. Focus on the low health units, very, very good. And it looks like his opponent's pulled out Vindicator as well. Green has to pull out Apollo. Blue's Vindicator may go down, does get shot down. And I think Blue now has a Vindicator of his own. No, that's another... or Apollo, but that's actually another Vindicator. Blue is now the out of Apollo, and you're going to bomb down the dog. Apollo's, oh, it looks like Blue does get the first shot there, but we do know Green has at least one or two javelin troops on the ground, though they may have been bombed by the Vindicator. Blue's pulling out some wall segments. He may be walling off behind his Peacekeepers as they advance forward. Got some good hits there onto the Vindicator there with the Apollo, and the other Apollo does come into gauge as well. Up north we do have a seaport deployed on now. More wall segments. Obviously doesn't have enough credits for wall segments, plus they're actually out of line. One Apollo does, Vindicator does receive quite a bit of fire, but it does manage to keep on out of there, but looks like none of the aircraft do go down. Looks like they were not off center from each other. It looked like they were not aligned. I was mistaken. Dolphins now swimming around. You may find some good hits there. Receive some bombs, that's for sure. This Vindicator needs to do a retreat order as well. Might as well. There's another Dolphin advance forward, but it does need more bombs, and the Apollo does go down to the javelin troops inside the garrison. We'll go ahead and de-garrison the garrison. Great bombing runs there from the Apollo. Vindicators receive a bit too much fire from the ground forces. And over here, we got a fourth expansion deployed out by Blue, fourth expansion deployed out by Green. We do have now Assault Destroyer deployed on the field, trying to go forward and crush a Prospector likely. Over here, we do got some Hydrofoils, Vindicators, and Apollos advancing forward. Here's about the Assault Destroyer there as it barges away through all the walls. Prospector will escape on out there. He does go and turn off the black hole generator. May try to find some shots there. And now he's going to try and pursue these forces. Receive a bit too much fire as well. Needs perhaps to turn on the black hole armor to reduce his damage, received damage. And over here, we do got the Dolphins taking down the command post. Up north, we do have a ore refinery being sold off there. He does have a multi-gunner turret. And the command hub will be deployed out as well. Soldier Destroyer does go down, looks like the Peacekeeper got the final kill, or final shot. Good shots there on the Apollo. This Apollo is quite wounded as well. And Blue should be able to win now. He has multiple Apollos there, plus the Javelin troops getting some good hits as well. Looks like this one was frozen, perhaps by a crowd shot, a crowd blast. Well, another Assault Destroyer being deployed now, trying to go for bottom runs there. We've got the ore refinery now under siege. by the aircraft carrier. Good bomber run there on the aircraft carrier. We also have a couple hydrofoils, one with weapon jammer up and a pair of dolphins. Green's assault destroyer does manage to crush those javelin troops there, now trying to crush the prospector. Dolphins engaging each other, but there's too many blue dolphins there. Does get a jam there, trying to fire some shots up at those Apollos. But looks, the black hole armor is actually disrupting the bullets. They weren't actually going all the way into the black hole armor, but they were getting disrupted enough that they actually were being denied from hitting their target. Does get forced to sell off there. Got another bomb run onto the air base. We're seeing quite a bit of damage there. Getting some good damage there onto the air base. Now over here, it looks like someone pushed forward with his javelin troops trying to break through the wall segments. These walls will slow him down. Good to go out some more wall segments to slow them down even more. Which he will. Peacekeepers are rotating around. That's good enough Peacekeepers, but I think Green may have more. Good bomb run there. Vindicator is severely wounded. We need to fall back sooner rather than later. Blue's Navy is, of course, skirting around. Aircraft carrier still has plenty of health. One level Veteran C as well. Oh, it is going for over here. Taking out the command hub, who never redeployed out that war refinery. Over here, we got the Apollos. Cryocopter looks like will go down. Actually, no, he does manage to save the Cryocopter there. Multiple of the Apollos to go down in return. Over here, the command hub does go down. Green does have a handful of Dolphins. Dolphins are receiving quite a bit of fire. The assault destroyer cannot disrupt them. Does throw out the cannon of the assault destroyer as well. It does take out the assault destroyer. Assault destroyer trying to crush the prospector. He may actually get it. Oh, nope, he stopped right in front of it. Does shrink it down. Now the prospector try to go with the crush there. I'm not sure if he can crush the assault destroyer. The black hole armor has made those bombs go straight to the assault destroyer. Bomb runs there onto the hydrofoils, but this seaport will go down. A single Dolphin from Green won't really pop too much. A lot of veteran Dolphins there. A big swarm of sadistic animals there. Let's go ahead and freeze down the heroic Dolphin. And it looks like Green's Apollos are getting outnumbered as well. There's 3 blue Apollos versus 2 green. Good bomb runs there from the heroic Vindicator. Over here, it looks like the aircraft carrier is taking some more sorties. That is a different aircraft carrier. He may have lost the other one. Not sure where it may have went. Probably in the bottom of the sea. Or probably seen quite a bit of fire as well. Assault destroyer received quite a bit of damage. Also on engage. Trying to hit the Vindicators is not so good. We got more reinforcing blue Apollos there, but got a good number of javelin troops there taking out those Apollos. Prospector does get frozen here. The Vindicators will come in for a bombing run. Cryo shot or cryo blast being put now. Kills off all that infrastructure. Prospector does get frozen. And great bomb splits there. Assault destroyer or aircraft carrier now to elite. And Green's infantry may get overwhelmed by Blue's infantry now. Looks like Green's low in power. Green's Apollos now engaging Blue's Apollos. Green's does get the first strike there. So one of Green's Apollos need to fall back. Pretty close. Blue could have potentially got a kill in that Apollo. Cargo just gained some nice needed shrinks there. Aircraft carrier elite, but nearly dead. So's the assault destroyer. Just gonna try to shrink, freeze down those naval forces. Does get the bomb run there onto the aircraft carrier. Good micro there with the black hole armor. Now trying to deal with these dolphins. The Green Dolphins having trouble. One of them is now frozen. Two of them are now frozen. And does freeze down the last dolphin now. Working on our IFE, gains some good damage there on the Apollos, but does take out that ore prospector. Over here, Blue's prospector's going down as well. Got a good amount of efficiency on these Apollos, or Vindicators. And the Apollos now engaging each other. Green does fall back with both his Apollos. Shrinks down some NCV, trying to reposition quickly in order to get out some more expansion points. Over here, looks like one of the cryo-copters may go down, does go down. And looks like these dolphins will be taking out that prospector as well. Does sell off both of those structures there, very nice. And now Blue's pushing forward with a massive wave of peacekeepers. Green does have a good number of peacekeepers in the region, and does have a motor gun turret loaded with peacekeepers as well. We may need to get out a second one. There's no javelin troops here as well. Cryogeddon being pulled out now. He needs to get ready to pull out another motor gunner IFVs. Another Cryogeddon this time from his opponent. Gotta make sure that he actually frees down a couple of his own guys there. May have froze his own barracks as well. Charging force as well. We got a number of frees there. Frees his own force right there as well. Dog being pointed out doesn't get the bark roar there. I think for all the veteran units as well, it probably wouldn't do all too much either. Heroic Apollo does fall back. A handful of heroic Apollo, or not heroic Apollos for Green.
Let's get out of here.
And I've got the Apollos now engaging each other. And it looks like Green's Apollos will go down. There's too many ground forces here as well. Riptide now being focused down a little bit too much. Cryocopter does go down. The Riptide is chilled, not frozen. Sells off his airfield. Riptide does go down. And that is a lot of heroic peacekeepers. In fact, all of them are heroic except for one, which is just elite. Now they're all heroic. Oh, nope, there's a unvetted one. Let's take out the prospector as well, but that's a lot of veteran infantry. Now we've got Apollo's not coming way forward. We've got a multi-gunner turret on the low ground. He's throwing peacekeeping into that to get a fully automatic shotgun. And he still has the oil derrick up. Both players have their oil derricks up. We're gonna stay on the peacekeepers. Let's off the power plant. This health regen is being very, very important for Blue. Down south, we've got a Crocopter freezing down a Prospector. And there goes the rest of Green's Peacekeepers. Gotten more Riptides deployed now. Active his shields, he should be able to deal good damage to those Riptides. But this will stall him out, his one out quite a bit. Monogunner IV has been deployed on out as well. Or finally seeing quite a bit of fire. Does freeze down the Prospectors. Prospector does get shattered. Heroic Peacekeeper still doing significant amount of work there. Paul's charging on forward, taking out multiple crowd cops. When the Pulse do go down. And there we go. Now they're all heroic, at least what remains. These heroic Peacekeepers getting some great damage on the construction yard and getting some much needed health regen. Got a good number of Riptides here, slowly gunning down these Peacekeepers. And MCV does pack on up, receive some extra damage there. And just go and repack up or redeploy there. Cryoncopter does go down. Over here, do got some Dolphins engaging each other now. Does jump right there to avoid any additional fire. On the re-engage, killing off one of them. Blue's naval yard almost goes down. We'll get to deploy out another Dolphin there before getting taken out. The Gray's trying to rebuild. Blue doesn't have a whole lot remaining either. He has 3 refineries. Where is his... Okay, MCV's right there. Crowd shot, or no, that's just a Cryoncopter. That's a kill there. Another Prospector been deployed out by Sal at sea. Blue's Dolphins are patrolling around. He does freeze down the Prospector there. Apollo's charging forward, trying to deal with all these Cryoncopters. Doesn't take up Blue's heroic Apollo. Ooh, a lot of Green's Apollos are quite wounded, but it looks like Blue will escape on out with his. He's streaming one at a time. Does fall back right there. More Apollos being pulled out by Blue. He has a lot in the field. I think he has 2 airfields as well. Green does fall back. Green pulls forward with wounded Apollos. That one gets gunned down. He's a fall back. Falls. Apollos get healed up. And Cryo again does get deployed out onto that airfield. And the Riptide does pick it off. Another Cryo again. His opponent been deployed out, which does freeze the multi-gunner turret as well as all the other structures. And does get a shrink there, crushing it with the Prospector. Now the Prospector is now elite. I sure does something as well. This stuff is so chilled. Bull can be quickly refrozen, but it's not have been fully killed off. Motogunner turret is chilled, so it has reduced rate of fire, and doesn't overkill the bombing run there. Didn't do any proper bomb micro whatsoever. I just heard something got loaded up. Maybe something inside the Riptides. Wasn't really paying attention. All just some Peacekeepers and Javelins. We got 2 Cryoncopters. They maybe will get some shrinks here and freeze there. Got a good number of Javelin troops there. All this going for a bomb run there. Gets to the Javelin troops. The Cryoncopters seeing quite a bit of fire. Got a good number of Javelin troops on the ground. It's going to be a big loss on both sides. Looks like Blue has at least 5. He has 2 airfields, and right now 6 Apollos. He's trying to maintain air superiority, but now we do have a Riptide, Dolphin, and Hydrofoil out in the field. Another Dolphin as well. Hydrofoil does get struck down right there. being frozen now as well. He can maintain maximum range with the Gyrocopter and will prevent it from receiving retaliation. Riptide and Dolphin's not engaged in the ore refinery. Riptide's pushing way forward, getting some good hits there onto the Prospectors. Javelin troops are getting some laser locks there onto the MCV, getting a lot of damage there. Did interrupt his own laser lock there in order to engage those aircraft. Does it get a retarget there? Trying to laser lock. Does laser lock down that Multigunner turret. Getting that up fully heroic as well. Both those Javelin troops are now fully heroic, and one does get quickly frozen. And those Apollos are going to fall back. Big bomb runs from the heroic Vindicator. Those are the last structures. Those get destroyed out by that Dolphin. Dolphin will be making his escape. We got a Multigunner turret here. Got a handful of Javelin troops being loaded up onto the wounded Riptide. That may be a bad idea. Looks like there's about 8 or 9 Javelin troops. I don't think that's a full 10. That's going to pop them out. It looks like just 7 Javelin troops there, maybe 8. Autopols do go down. He currently has 3 on the deck. 2 of them are heroic. Cryo Cannon's been cast on in. He does get freeze all the Javelin troops there. Riptide's now being frozen next. Does crush multiple Javelin troops there. Does potentially chill his own NCV a little bit. Another one does get crushed. More does get frozen there. Also going to bring for the MCV and crush the rest of them. Good hits there on those Apollos.
What savages?
He got a crush there, and I wonder if he actually crushed it with the larger size or smaller size. You gotta be careful when triggering on the MCV so it doesn't get crushed. You got a crowd getting deployed right here. Multiple laser locks onto the MCV as well. Does deploy a boot camp there.
Hurry before we're finished.
Retargets towards the MCV as well. Getting some shots there. Multiple shrunk it down. Does use a surgical strike there. Barracks does get this boot camp, does get killed off. Does finish off the dog there with rockets. MCV is severely wounded. Got multiple Javelin troops just streaming on in. Does take out the boot camp there. Pair of Peacekeepers advancing forward. And good hits there onto those Cryocopters, taking them out. Peacekeepers advancing forward. Got these Javelin troops making a soft retreat away. Riptide advancing forward, getting some good hits.
Get that guy.
Good hits there onto the Apollo. Does have heroic status, and Blue has back out of the game. This Anagrade saying thanks for watching, and on to the next replay. Greetings everyone, Anagrade here for another Red Alert 3 replay. Spawn on the bottom left side as the blue allies, we have RA3 Maniac. Spawn on the top right side as the red Random Soviets, we have H2O God of War. We do have, looks like a barracks, walls, pretty standard. We'll probably see a bear into Combat Engineer. Over here we do got a doggy to play on the field. Will it be a dog eat bear world or will it be a bear eat dog world? Let's find out. We got 2 bears ported on out, which is good. It makes so the dog gets to bark off first. The other one, the bear can roar off. Summon the dog. More dogs, 3 dogs deployed on the field. And it's not the capital wasteland. Combat engineers will go ahead and make it to the Oral Derrick, no problem. We've got a couple of conscripts here as well. Allied player has claimed the Oil Derrick. And now we do have this dog advance forward, just trying to scout forward. Up here, we do got the bear and the dog push his way forward. A sea dog and a sea bear Best way to stop a sea bear attack is, of course, a circle. That joke's getting pretty old. But I'm still going to use it either way. This bear will make his way onto land. Down south, there's a dog. Just for scouting purposes, this bear will get a nice scout off. He could plant himself on the expansion port, preventing it from being deployed there. You have a dog here in the shade of the palm tree. It's his vacation. Don't interrupt him. Now we've got quite a large number of conscripts advancing forward. Great bomb slopes there, and he does clean up the dog. Molotov's going to be deployed out in the garrison, trying to flush it out. We've got Crowcopter now deployed now, trying to slow down the conscripts. We got at least a good number of conscripts there. It does fan out the garrison, getting some damage onto them. And now here comes the bear. It does get inside the garrison and gets wiped out. More bombs are raining on in, getting some good hits there. And it does get only one conscript inside the garrison. You have these bullfrogs circling around, trying to engage these Crowcopters. Looks like there's actually two peacekeeper or conscripts inside the garrison. It'll take a bit of time for him to clean up the oil derrick, so he has plenty of time to respawn. And now we do have these Crowcopters advancing forward. We've got a good number of bullfrogs in the region, however. Let's get some shrinks there, because there's too many bullfrogs for them to stick around and try to freeze them now. Let's get some good damage there. Out south, got the bear still. And so actually still got a bear at this garrison as well. He's going to try to freeze the garrison. Let's get out of the garrison as well. Trying to avoid fire. He needs to force fire attack the garrison, just make sure it stays frozen. And he does go and destroy the garrison as well. And the bear does catch a couple bombs as well. Not a cold, just some bombs. Power plant and refinery has been deployed on out, getting another expansion point there. The Soviet player has backed out to C. AGS is expansion point out and going. Do you have a C super reactor as well? Now the Crowcopters advance force should be able to quickly freeze down the orc, no problem, but there's a good number of defensive bullfrogs. We got a dog still up sea. The bear is still up north. That bear is camping the expansion point, but may not actually be covered in stopping it. Bullfrog super shrunken there. He may try to freeze it down. There's a little bit too much fire there. May not have enough time to deal with that ore collector. He did not pursue the Crowcopter either. He potentially could have pursued it and actually killed it off. The shrunken state makes it pretty easy to pursue forces. And yeah, looks like all the Crowcopters will manage to stay alive, severely wounded, but alive. Oh wait, that is an engineer inside a shrunken Riptide or multi-gunner IV, and does get ran over by the ore collector. We will need to redeploy that out. He is going to redeploy it out. If he has a crusher crane, he can crush the ore collector for a pretty good cash rebate. And that is another engineer multi-gunner IFVs. Does get deployed out, trying to go for more cheeky captures. And he does sell that one off the last moment, killing up the engineer. Oh, so that's what they mean by the engineer is lost in the process. Yeah, I don't think they actually mean it like that, though. Got another Tesla Coral being deployed on out, trying to defend this expansion point. The ore collector is seeing quite a bit of fire there. And there goes Riptide. Good number of ham tanks out in the field. Got some multi-gunner IFVs in this region. And it looks like these cryocopters are seeing a bit of fire there. Getting some repairs now. Something got shattered. I think it was a bear. Could have been a conscript. To see frozen bits of meat. Perfect to keep in the freezer. And now this ore collector is seeing quite a bit of fire. He's going to get tasked back on the line. And the motor gunner IFE does receive quite a bit of fire there from the hammer tank. Motor gunner IFE does go down over here. Looks like a bear got killed off. That may have been... I don't know why. That may have been paradropped in by a bullfrog.
A tough guy, huh?
Let's go and try to leash down the motor gunner IFE. The bears do charge forward. Not going to be very effective. Desolator Strike, however, was a good reason why he used those bears to charge forward to get some roars off. Marking them, slowing them down in order to receive a bunch of corrosive toxins on top of their head. So he does melt one of his own conscripts there. Some hammer tanks are getting frozen. I hear some bullfrogs getting some shots off on some cryocopters likely. These forces are sort of being warded away by the toxic corrosion. And none of these hammer tanks do get shrunk down. Guardian tanks advancing forward. Bullfrogs are trying to ward away those cryocopters, but there's so many guardian tanks here. The hammer tanks are getting shrunken. They can't do much with those guardian tanks when they're shrunken down. Looks like he does get a pretty good cash bounty there. And one that does get picked off. He does have a dual-wielding guardian tank right there.
Who's looking for a good pounding?
Vindicator's coming for a bombing run. We've got multiple of these guardian tanks going down. Getting some dual-wielding hammer tanks here and there. The amount of extra guns he has, he may just want to switch over to Delp in non-leech mode and start firing away. Now got a master shrink right there. Bullfrogs have trouble warding away those cryocopters. Guardian tank, what remain of the allied force, could pursue these forces. So there's still a couple hammer tanks here. Both of them, well, one of them's dual wielding, the other ones are not. There's no flak tower in this region. Let's take out that ore collector in no time whatsoever. So when the Apollos do get shot down there. And it looks like another Apollo does get shot down as well.
Someone call for transport?
Does go ahead and shrink down that Riptide. I'm not sure what's loaded in the back of it. Could be another engineer, since he has done some engineer play like that earlier today, or earlier this game. And there is a hammer tank loaded up in the back of that twin blade for some odd reason. Got some handful of cryocopters here as well. He may need to get out some MiGs for anti-aircraft support. So he does have some bullfrogs trying to escort the hammer tank with the bullfrogs. I'm not sure why there's a paired twin blade carrying a hammer tank here. Oh, and he's going to deposit her straight into the refinery line. That's why he deployed have them deployed out on the twin blade there. Some good shots there on the prospector. Let's take it out. We got some guardian tanks here, as well as looks like the twin blade's going on down. All the bullfrogs do get shrunken to make their way back out at sea. We do have a good number of Tesla troopers now out in the field, which should be very effective for those guardian tanks, that's for sure. Peacekeepers will be a bit of a problem for them, as well as the Cryo Shot, Cryo Blast, Cryogeddon, and the Cryocopters. Anything isolated. Then again, what is not effective when you're using ice? That is a good number of Tesla troopers there. So that's 7 there. That's quite a bit of a number. The large number of the hammer tanks are getting shrunken. Tesla troopers cannot be shrunken because they're infantry, not vehicles. He's going to go ahead and quickly freeze down these ore collectors as well. Bullfrogs do make their way back out at sea. And Desolator strike there, but there's currently nothing on that refinery line. The power switch has already been pulled off. Looks like these guarding tanks do get shrunken, trying to reposition them quickly, perhaps trying to push forward in the center or eyeing for a defense. There's a good number of guardian tanks here. But Tesla Troopers should be very effective, and I'm pretty sure Tesla Troopers cannot be crushed by guardian tanks. Got some good shots there on those poles thanks to the bullfrogs. Trying to push on forward, he's going to go for that twin blade. It does not even get the twin blade there. There are some javelin troops here. Cryo Coppers are shrink down some of the bullfrogs, but the javelin troops all he needed at that point in time. Oop, looks like a Terror drone came out and ate those javelin troopers there, though he's a little bit wounded now. Both sides are setting up for massive engagement. We got a crusher crane on the front line as well. Somebody got deployed out. He's going for a battle lab. Ooh. He's probably going to go for V4s in order for artillery war. And likely his opponent, I see tier 2. Now tier 1s, the MCB is packed on up. I think he's going to go over max clearance relatively soon. Thank you for the YouTube subscriber. Or nope, that's Twitch follow. Let's see. Oh, there it is. Now finally pulled up on Twitch. Thank you, Lays Bear EU, for following on Twitch. Let's shrink down the bullfrogs there. Got now a Terror drone popped out. Terror drone surprise. Multiple of those twin blades going down, and the Vindicators clean up the rest of those bullfrogs. Bear does get a bit of a roar there. Takes up the Peacekeeper there. Both bears remain but frozen. They're not polar bears, they're just regular bears. And we do have a massive gauge pushing on forward. There's likely to be a massive cryo-geddon in the start of this fight, maybe in the middle of the fight. Oh, that's Desolator airstrike now coming on in. No, that's satellites. That's sell off the Multi-Gunner IFV. Infantry forces advancing forward. Cryo-geddon and Desolator airstrikes should both be ready. The ammo takes some good hits there on the construction yard. Tesla troopers are advancing forward as well. Doing some great damage onto those guardian tanks. Needs to use an EM field. There is a massive cryo-geddon right there. That's going to be very devastating. Tesla troopers getting some great damage on in. Got some Peacekeepers pulling out. That should be effective for some Peacekeepers. Got a frozen, electrocuted corpse right there. And do have Desolator strike there, taking out a number of those infantry forces for the allied flare. The guardian tank's going to push the way forward and crush everything that remains. We got a Terror drone here, needs to focus that one down. That is a good number of guardian tanks there, and there's nothing really much in defense. A handful of hammer tanks, not a whole lot. And he's going to start leeching down some of these guardian tanks. He needs to get them extra guns if possible. Focus on the wounded ones. Tesla trooper flooding out, getting lased by one of the guardian tanks. He got some wall segments trying to save his crusher crane, but he was not successful. As the troops are pushing way forward, they got a number of hammer tanks there. They probably be reshrunken. They do get reshrunken. The one that's not shrunken down does have a second gun. As the cryo coppers are getting warded away, thanks to bullfrogs. Got another Terror drone infecting the guardian tanks. This one's the one that was lasing stuff. Fully heroic Tesla trooper there. Does get shot up by those guardian tanks there. Tesla trooper needs to start focusing down some of these guys. Has a long wind up their shots there. More Terror drones pushing way forward. Looks like no guys are currently affected. Now the Tesla troopers breaking way forward. These are good hits there, snaring down some of these heroic guardian tanks. Battle Lab, so it's playing help, does get infect there and does get double infect. in the various forces some veterans see, but both sides have lost quite a bit in that engagement. We do have, looks like a multi-gunner turret deployed or queued up, ready to go. And he does deploy the multi-gun turret there. He could throw the Peacekeeper in there. Got a good number of terror drones. Hammer tank with an extra gun. And looks like the multi-gun turret's not exactly great versus Tesla troopers. Up north, looks like a bullfrog being struck down by the cryocopters. And you've got more Peacekeepers and more Javelin troops being deployed on out. A lot of explosions here, that's for sure. That battle lab, the battle lab's still up, so we could see some V4s. In fact, we haven't seen a whole lot utilizing that battle lab, have we? Let's see now. Do got looks like a pair of Apollos, indicator flying about. 1 cryocopters, 3 cryocopters, quite a bit, able to lock down, of course, 3 vehicles. There's a good number of bullfrogs here. 2 of them are elite. Soviet player could try advancing forward. He has a pretty good army, but maybe he's not sure how much army his opponent has. The Soviet player does have 4 expansions, trying to go for a 5th one now. The Allied player only has 3. This one has not been touched with a single ore collected. And it looks like this Navy Yard will go down. The Bullfrogs are trying to push this way forward. Hitting the Vindicator. The Vindicator forcing that back prevents them from actually completing the bombing run. Things can take time to get unthawed out. So hitting the Vindicator was a good idea. Oh, looks like something got put out there. Could have been a bunch of Javelin troops. V4s are firing away as well. Oh, whatever's inside of that only gets wiped out. Does get us infected on the Prospector. Multiple bullfrogs getting frozen, destroyed there. Very, very close timing right there. Now we've got a couple terror drones here. This one will get infected. The other one is going to snare it, preventing it from going to the airfield for repairs. We got Desolator Strike on this one here as well, and he will get the infect there and the snare. Now Prospector is good as dead. Does bomb the terror drone there, but this one will finish off the Prospector. He is lacking bullfrogs in his forest right now, which means he's very susceptible to those cryocopters. In fact, there's not a single bullfrog, nor flak trooper. There's a bullfrog now, but these cryocopters can freeze down, completely neutering some of these forces. Does pull out a engineer there. It's actually a bit wounded. Did he sell his MCV? But MCV's still alive. Captures observation post to observe his enemy. Does spot the V4s. One V4 is firing. It is a cluster warhead. Does fire a crowd again right there. Getting some good freezes there. Forces opponent not being able to retreat. Cluster warhead coming forward. Resounds of his own forces. The cluster warhead does largely miss there. The Tesla troopers need to start advancing forward. Got a good number of kills there. Got Terror Drone being fighting one of the forces.
Not so friendly.
This hammer tank needs to get off leech beam mode to start charging forward with his double guns. This hammer tank does not have extra gun there, and now just get focused down. Bear charging forward needs to get a roar off. Does get a roar off there. He needs to perhaps go for a Desolator Strike. Hammer tank getting some great crushes there. Bear trying to be frozen. Hammer tank trying to be frozen. Got a couple Guardian tanks remaining. One of them fully heroic. They're both managed to stay alive. The heroic one is severely wounded, but he will automatically repair. More hammer tanks been pulled out. Does have a single bullfrog, a pair of bears, and a 2 hammer tanks now. Does he have an MCV? He may not actually have an MCV for deploying out. Oh, there's the MCV. It's shrunk it down now. I was going to say he doesn't have any MCV for protocols, but he does actually have an MCV there. And he almost got crushed by a Guardian tank there. He needs to get that MCV out of there. Does destroy his own terror drone that was affecting one of those Guardian tanks there. And he's going to go for another string on the MCV. He can't use the MCV for crushing his opponent. Hammer tanks are getting killed off one at a time. I think this made the Allies' game because he's just leading off hammer tanks at this point in time. Can't deal with these forces. He can't focus on the most wounded one because it's a fully heroic, so it's getting some health regen. Bear charging forward, does get a roar off there, only stunning a single javelin troop there. Charging forward, does get the kill there on the heroic peacekeeper, and does get some good kills there. The bears are getting some good hits in, but still has a good number of now 2 heroic Guardian tanks here, and 1 javelin troop helping break down some wall segments. Both those forces does get shrunk down right there, and now the Warpack is under siege. Over here, we got some bullfrogs and a dreadnought that's fully heroic. It's doing some good work in there. The dreadnought needs to start making its way over at sea. Red still has a bit of an expansion post here. He's going to just try to collect as much ore here. Selling off refineries are not exactly very good. Like selling like for 500 credits, you may just get a couple more loads and refine from the end. But at this point in time, since it's frozen, might as well sell it off. Does have his MCV over here with a airfield, which passes will have some MiGs and twin blades, though that would be a bit expensive, and his economy is of course shrinking. Though both of these ore refineries are depleted. Dreadnought now firing as well. He is fully heroic, so can use some sacrificial launchers in order, and then use his health regen to repair that up later. He's fighting against cryocopters. It's either you're alive or dead, so sacrificial launchers actually, it's generally a good idea at this moment, I would say. Let's get the war armor facility there, but we do have these Riptides advancing forward. Got some torpedoes hit there on the dreadnoughts as well. It does shrink the dreadnought. The dreadnought will likely go down. And the bullfrogs are not hitting these cryocopters. It's doing a poor job of escorting the dreadnought. He needed that dreadnought alive. Loser redeploys MCV. Still has an oil derrick here for income, so he's not completely dead in the water, just mostly dead in the water. Guardian's pushing way forward. Does have a pair of twin blades here. Soviet player still has 2 refineries refining. Someone only has 4,000 credits remaining though, so not a lot. Getting a crusher crane, probably for repairs, and to crush the ore collector. That will going for our ore crusher crane now, and crushing the ore collector will basically pay for itself. Got some very forces on the ground, including a hammer tank. Large wave of bullfrogs, that's for sure. Focusing on the ore refinery, and that is a massive loss for the allied player. Boy out for command hub. Let's see how much money the allied player has
Construction
remaining.
vehicle at your service.
That's 1,200. That's not enough. He needs to sell off. He still has a power plant. We need 2,500 or just 2,000 for the refinery. I forget the top of my head. It is just 2,000. Oh, he's spending on something. He's going for a Vindicator. He could have sold off the airfield for about 500 credits and a bunch of wall segments in order to get out an ore refinery, but maybe he doesn't want to go for that. Maybe he doesn't believe he can keep it alive. This refinery expansion location has gone down. The Soviet player has income, not a lot at the moment, but has a source of income. So the longer the game goes on, the more in favor it is for the Soviets. These expansion points are depleted. That's not great. He may want to eye for this expansion here. He may have just sold his the MCV shrunk it down right there. Finds the power plant, though, floating with low power. Maybe not. The MCV does provide power itself. Starting to push his way forward. Got a good number of MiGs, taking out the air forces. And now the Soviet player has full air superiority. He has a crusher crane, has an airfield. Riptides are trying to make their way out to sea. There's not anything left to engage. these Riptides. Let's redeploy his MCV. Needs Twin Blade push forward. He has have an angle to engage there. Are going to deploy it on 4, freezing down the airfield. Got another one more Twin Blade deployed on now. Does sell off his MCV there. No, it was Cash Bounty when it got destroyed. So that's a Crusher Crane. Crusher Crane could be focused down. Does destroy it there with the Riptides. And also got all the MiGs on deck, but he's out. No more airfield on the field, so there's no Cryocoppers either. So losing the MiGs is actually not a huge issue. Airfield is much more important at that moment in time. And oh, the game just ended. I think the Allied player surrendered because the Soviet player was definitely in a better position at that moment in time. The Allied player had nothing left, nothing to deal with the contested air force, and the Twin Blades were just able to rip apart the rest of those ground forces, given enough time. So I'm going to give the win to the Soviet players. Either way, this is Anagrade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. And again, somehow my other screen went crazy and starts blowing up other screens. I don't know why. We got that fixed. So, got a handful more replays left for today, so let's go ahead and get them started. Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Relic 3 replay. Spawn on the bottom left side as the Orange Allies. We have SFT-AD. Spawn on the top right side as the Cyan Empire. We have 5DGYP0BAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAW. I think I said that right. Either way, we do have an instant generator that deploys out quicker than instant ramen noodles, as well as a handful of instant dojos. 4 refineries, as well as just going for 3 instant dojos. Dogi pushes his way forward, trying to spot his opponent. Now they're making their way over the left, just making it over the right, so he knows this or the Oriole Derrick is relatively safe. It's going to take time to build up the garrisons as well. Let's go ahead and deploy out a instant dojo right there. Dogi's trying to camp it, and the Dogi does avoid being crushed by the hovercraft. Imperial Warrior does get inside the garrison as well, so should be able to ward away the dog from being around the Oriole Derrick. Empire Engineer should be making his way out. We do have this Dojo Corps push his way forward. As well as some Javelin troops and infantry forces here. Clamp these garrisons one by one. It does have this one garrison garrison at least probably with 1 peacekeeper. More Imperial Warriors getting inside the garrison. We got a Dojo Corps actually trying to claim the garage, but we do have Multi-Gunner IFV loading out, load up of a Peacekeeper, so it should be a Rip Park Engineer or anything that comes out that's infantry related. And now we do have a Allied Engineer advancing forward trying to claim the garage themselves. So the garage is going to be very contested in this game. Or once one player captures it, he's going to the other player's going to destroy it now. We got a laser lock on the instant dojo. Think Rush is deployed on out, getting some good hits there onto the Multi-Gunner IFV. Does get inside the garrison as well. The other one is not loaded up with Peacekeeper. Trying to be loaded up with Peacekeeper now. Does get loaded up with Peacekeeper. And the garage he claimed is going to give some much needed health regen. Get some good damage there. And both Multi-Gunner IFVs will stay alive, and they will stay alive with the garage claim. Now, I do got a bit of harassment on the Prospector. The Prospector, of course, does have a bit of health regen, but needs to get out of that line. Multi-Gunner IFV pushing me forward, so going to sell off a couple wall segments there now. Guys going back away on the far side of the refinery, and there's a lot of missiles hitting that Jet Tengu as it goes down. We got another instant dojo deployed on now. He's going to try to reclaim or claim the garage of his opponent. And these Multi-Gunner IFVs are now at full health. Does go into charge, Bonsai charging that garrison, gets a good knockback there with the shotguns. Takes out 3 out of 4 of those Imperial Warriors. Gets some good hits there on the instant dojo, but there's only Peacekeeper or Imperial Warriors inside these garrisons. and the garage will out repair the damage, and does get a nice knockback strike there with on the tank buster. Does get a tank buster inside the garrison now, and he does no longer have the garage to see no more self repairs. Does get a nice knockback there, multiple nice knockbacks there, and one of the multi-gunner IFVs will go down. Do now have an air base here, and the good repairs onto the Prospector. Prospector can be sent back on the line now, as multi-gunner IFVs are pursuing those jet Mechatengus. Does clear out the garrison? No, does not clear out the garrison there. More of these Imperial forces does get inside the garrison as well. There's a lot of tank busters in there. They're focusing down the airfield. Maybe want to throw some rounds at the... Yes, he's going to hit the Vindicator. Does get the kill there on the Vindicator. Pretty close to it. Barracks will go down. Takes a good efficiency to these tank busters. And can go ahead and cleave through the wall segments there with the tank busters as well. And now the Vindicator could receive some shots there. Actually didn't finish off that wall segment, never mind. Tsunami tank deployed out, has nanoflectors activated. Multiple tsunami tanks to push them way forward, and with the garage support there as well, they're going to be very, very resilient with the nano deflectors active. Airfield receiving quite a bit of fire, does get another layer of walls, but in actuality, those walls are too close. They were able to fire from the second story floor over those walls. Tsunami tanks getting some good damage there. One of them does go down. He may be trying to use honorable discharge. And we've also got the drones getting damaged as well. So actually, the drones are starting repairing the drones. Jet Tengus flying about, takes out, chasing down one of the Vindicators. Good hits there onto the Jet Tengus. He does transform there, and since they're on the ground, they will receive repairs from the garage. So he has them on aggressive and just start firing away against all of these wall segments. And these forces are getting nice and repaired up. Another point defense drone. That'd be very nice in order to help top keep their health repairing well in combat as well. With camp being deployed out as well. The carriers come for a nice bomb run there. Point defense drones, and now the garage and a down deflector. That's going to be a lot of repairs onto that one guy that's wounded. Going to make his way out to sea. We'll be starting engaging from the sea, and he will not receive repairs while he's out at sea, but the one that is wounded does manage to get out onto land again. See, as he gets back onto sea, they receive no damage repairs. A lot of jet vehicles getting shot up by these multi-gunner IVs. Let's take out a number of those Vindicator stays to take out both of them, but it does lose a number of these Mechatengus and Jet Tengus. Though with the garage repairs, he's able to stall out a little bit longer. That one does get focused down, the other one may escape. And over here now, the Super Tank's getting some great damage there onto the ore refinery. And takes Nanoflectus getting a lot of repairs, so take them both out, and thanks to the honorable discharge, takes out the ore refinery. And looks like there was some mutual trades here. Looks like it's down to one tank buster inside the garrison. The heroic one did go down to the peacekeepers. We do have this world here now under siege from the multi-gunner IVs. Over here, Vindicators come for another bombing run. Not sure where though. Jet Tengus are flying about. There's a good number of them. Sells that instant generator because he thought that was going to get bombed. Good little juke there. You also got a lot of walls being pulled out as well. Good damage there on the ore collector, but the garage will top off its health. It takes 5 Vindicators to bomb and destroy a collector. Garage now under siege. We're going to start cleaning that up. Looks like the Allies are working against right to repair. So, they're destroying the garage. Only licensed vendors only. Over here, the jet tankers are flying about. Indicators are not being pursued just a moment. We got multiple multi-gunner IVs now on the higher ground. We got tank buster and peacekeepers or Imperial Warriors trying to push the way forward, but Indicators trying to pick them off, but the jet tankers are forcing them back, but then the multi-gunner IVs will force them back. Going for a bonsai charge, there's a lot of peacekeepers in this here, and they're actually getting picked off before making the garrison. Let's actually get out with the last peacekeeper there. And the tank buster will manage to get inside the garrison as well. It does do a trade there with the peacekeeper, or the Imperial Warrior. Tank busters pushing their way forward. Now they make their way back. Your warrior on the low ground. Do got a dog on the high ground. Over here, do got the guardian tank pushing way forward. The garrison does not go down to that bombing run. And now I do have these forces getting some much needed repairs right now. Though it looks like they're a little bit out of the repair radius. No, they're still in. Guardian tank maybe out of the repair radius. Got a big swell of jet tangoos flying about. And up here, we got the dog being gunned down by the Imperial Warrior. Jet Tango's eyeing for drops somewhere. We got the multi-gunner IVs pursuing them. Looks like the Jet Tangos will fall back. Does keep us going back at base, so him not actually engaging is still being good for the Empire player because it's still applying aggression, applying pressure, forcing his opponent to stay back home. We do have a Riptide up here. I'm not sure it's loaded up with anything. Let's hop inside that garrison. And maybe see some bomb runs there. Looks like this garrison was claimed by the ally player. And good bomb runs there onto the... Looks like one Imperial Warrior, 2 tank busters. Their tankers are not flying about, trying to get those Vindicators because they knew they were falling back at home. Let's get a kill on maybe 1, maybe 2 of them there. Got a mass transform there. Find the exposed refinery. Gonna be focusing it down now. Nice bombing run there. It does sell off that refinery there, trying to save the prospector by selling off all those wall segments, and discharges on forward. North, we do have looks like this Ore Collector maybe receive some pressure there by the peacekeepers, but the wall segment does get rebuilt. Mecha Tango is going to find an angle there on the power plant, getting some good damage on in. Now got Emperor's Rage or Wrath or Vengeance. I'm not sure what's exactly what variant it is. Some good damage there. It does fall back a little bit. Over here, we do have the Instant Dojo now receiving quite a bit of fire. We do have now the Chopper VX advancing forward. Does get some rounds into the Guardian tank. And down, so now takes a pretty push on forward as well, but they're getting picked off one by one. Guardian tanks are doing some good focus firing there, but do have some good honorable discharge there. Guardian tanks are quite moving right now. No garage to repair them up. Down here we do have the Mecha Tankers hitting that construction yard quite severely. Let's take out the construction yard now. The ally player does have an armor facility to deploy out another MCV if needed. He still has an oil derrick live as well. Riptide now making way out C. Does spot that refinery core. We've got another, that's a, not a refinery core, but ore collector there. Refinery now receiving a bit of fire. That is an elite Riptide. He needs to get these jet tingles engaged at Riptide. And the Riptide will go down. Ore refinery did receive a bit of fire, needs some repairs. Now here we've got some guardian tanks, javelin troops, and peacekeepers making their way to the center of the map. Science deploy-ups NCV. We do have a Striker VX in the air now, Chopper VX. Does have to be worried about those javelin troops. So now tank does get picked on off there. Guardian tanks will be making their way forward. Instant generator will go down. Looks like the Striker VX over here did receive quite a bit of fire. Peacekeepers going to be ripping apart these forces quite severely. Do have javelin troops on the high ground, ripping apart some forces, including Imperial Warrior. Generator does go down as well. Chopper VX trying to throw some rounds there. Maybe hit that heroic one. That one's almost dead. Ore Collector does kill it. The Ore Collector does have a decent anti-infantry weapon. But now we've also got the jet tingles and tsunami tanks hitting his opponent's face as well. I think the armor's facility is still up. Tsunami tanks being pursued. Of course, we've got naval expansion as well as the construction yard. And a fresh MCV has been deployed now and has already gotten heightened clearance. Ground troops rotating around. It does take out that prospector. It does take out both those Striker VX as well, giving two veteran multi-gunner IFVs. Their tank is still flying about. Do have a tsunami tank trying to hit that Oriole Derrick finally. And he may be going for another refinery core right now. This Ore Collector still all remains for defense here. You can get out a reclaim this ore mine. Does have a bit of credits remaining. Engage from the high ground as well, taking out the anti-aircraft pieces first. Good, but no, it's still actually up and firing as well. Receive extra damage there. Transforms there, and does take out all of those ground forces. Very, very good. And Oil Derrick does go down. Some javelin troops are trying to engage from the high ground, only to be able to find wall segments. Looks like he may find an angle down the ore refinery. Does find an angle on the ore refinery now. Ore refinery does go down. Takes out the Ore Collector as well. Howdy. Multiple wall segments going down. We got the Striker VXs on the high ground. And we do have the Prospector now receiving a bit of fire. And its Ore Collector is now receiving quite a bit of shock and blast, and it does go down as well. The Empire player does have a full expansion LSC. No expansion or refinery nodes back at home. You have 1, 2, 3, or just 2 for the Allies player, but only 1 reflecting. Both sides are very battered and bruised, but the Empire player does have the advantage, even though he has less infrastructure, because he's in a bit more of a safer position. But a lot of the space is being gutted. We do have... I think that Prospect is maybe trying to make his way out to sea for deploying a expansion. And now the Motor Gunner IV does go down. Peacekeepers and Javelin troops advancing forward, getting some good hits there, receiving some good hits. Decides to just get in the ground there. Tsunami tanks trying to charge on forward, does get some good kills there. And now the tank busters are going to just sit in their holes and stay there. We got a number of Striker VXs and Chopper VXs on the high ground there. Transforms, use Emperor's Rage, going to charge him forward, try to get as much damage in as possible. These jet tingles can transform before bedtime. These focus down the multi-gunner IFVs, but also is unable to do anything thanks to the slower pace of the Emperor's Rage. This one receives a lot of extra damage there. Another of the Striker VXs do go down. Or Chopper VXs. We do have a command hub here. Where's that MCV? All the way back over here. Redeploy out expand is original refinery line. Thank you for the YouTube subscription. I can't read your name. I need to find a better way to document who subscribes while doing a stream on YouTube. The funny thing is, when somebody subscribes on YouTube and I have my OBS open, not even when a stream's active, I can hear people subscribing to my YouTube channel. So I could be just minding my own business, OBS still open, and all of a sudden I hear somebody subscribe to the YouTube channel. It can be a bit freaky, actually. Makes me wonder if I'm actually accidentally streaming. I've done that a couple times before by accident. Motor Gunner IFV's advancing forward, gets some good hits there on the Jet Tengus. One of them does get shot down. Chopper VXs, Jet Tengus is a good number of them. And this Imperial Warrior does find them for a brief moment. Over here, we do have, looks like Ore Collectors trying to engage Riptide. The one does receive quite a bit of fire, may want to stay close to it. Does take out one Ore Collector, which is pretty good for the Riptide. Heroic Imperial Warrior will be shot up by the Peacekeeper. And we've got a massive engagement here. Striker VX is on the ground. Mecha Tango's getting some good damage there onto these Motor Gunner IFVs, but none of them have got still one veteran, two heroic ones still alive, and balloon bombs have been deployed on out. Get some good damage there on those Peacekeepers. Motor Gunner IFVs does get some good hits there. 3 heroic Motor Gunner IFVs. Got Emperor's Rage right there. Focus on one of the heroic ones. Should be able to clean up the infantry, no problem. The infantry does get cleaned up. Guardian Tank is in the region. Motor Gunner turret has been deployed on out. He does get another shot, and it does shot down another one of those Jet Tengus. And now we do have Tank Busters deployed on the high ground as well. This could be very, very deadly. Does shoot up on the high ground as well. And that's a lot of firepower right there to hit those vehicles. Trying to deploy out some wall segments. They do have a bit of a targeting issue when firing towards low ground. If you go to Games Replay, you can get the there should be some links there for the patch maps if you're looking for that. GamesReplay.org is probably one of the more active areas for Red Alert 3 at the moment. Peacekeeper does go down there. Chopper VXs are trying to get some repairs as well. This game will continue. Expansion over here still quite healthy. We got an Imperial Dockyard here. I'm not sure what technology level it is, but it's currently not building anything at the moment. Tankbusters firing away onto some Peacekeepers. Peacekeepers looks like having trouble actually hitting the Tankbuster on the high ground, and here comes a bombing run from the Vindicator. Getting a double kill for the first bomb there, so getting 4 out of 5 there are 3 bombs. Very good. We have another ore refinery being pulled on out, but there's a Riptide here. That ore refinery core is going to be intercepted. That is a massive loss. And there's nothing there to save it. And the Empire players surrendered. This is Angrade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. We'll have time for one more replay for tonight. Let's see. This may be a 2v2. I've done a lot of Infinity Isle. Infinity Isle's probably the most used map in the game. Greetings everyone, and Grade here of another Red Alert 3 replay. Spawn on the top left side as the Red Allies. We have Vindy. Spawning at the bottom left side as the Orange Empire. We have R3P. Spawn on the bottom right side as the Cyan Allies. We have Happy. Spawn on the north top right side as the Yellow Soviets. We have Demon. We got some dogs being deployed on out. Some bears being deployed on out. Looks like not a whole lot of dogs for Cyan. And we got your dojo cores migrating into the center of the map as well, trying to engage that oil derrick. You can see a dojo core being pulled out up north as well, but he may just send out a, what's it called, engineer up there. It looks like yellow has lost his bear. Red dog is going to make his way down south. And you have some pure wars now being pulled out by orange. Up here, red dogs advancing forward, good barks, good roars, conscripts getting tied up as well. And we still got one active bear. It does pick off the active dog. Got another active dog here. A lot of dogs pushing way forward. Looks like he's going to get some great barks there. More and more these conscripts are being pushed on the board. He's starting to gun down the dogs there, making the ATF proud. And now we got the peacekeepers advancing forward now. Does have a good garrison spot right there for a hard point. And that pure war does go down. Do you have this garrison being claimed? Could try clearing out. I think a dojo just got cleaned up there. Now we do have some bears being pulled on out. Conscripts making their way forward. There's a good line of peacekeepers, but not exactly lined up in the correct way. Vindicator pushing way forward. Does bomb one of the bears. Over here, looks like the dog is claiming that, or preventing the expansion point from being expanded too. Pushing forward with the bears, but they're not getting good roars there. Got one roar there. Does activate some shields there, so some of these peacekeepers are exposed. Yep, looks like these guys all have shields up and going. If the conscripts can switch over to Molotov, they can one-shot the peacekeepers with their shields out, but he didn't lost all the conscripts. Got this force making their way up north. We do have a Defender Corps being pulled out. Up north, we do have more bears, conscripts. Looks like he's loaded up some of the bullfrogs with some units. Does throw out a single conscript for scouting purposes. And got some bomb runs coming on in as well. Does hit the Defender Corps. Striker VX has been pulled on out. Up here, we do have some peacekeepers trying to harass, but they're going to be overran by that Dojo Corps. All those peacekeepers do get ran over. Got some polos here. Zion's pushing forward with some polos as well. Striker VX is on the ground. And Red and Cyan engaged in a dogfight, but it looks like one of the good folks firing there by Cyan. Red was splitting his fire. And you also got some bullfrog support Cyan as well. Peacekeepers and bears are making their way forward. We've got a good number of conscripts and bears. Peacekeepers are here for defense and do have an expansion here now. You have a terror drummer here snaring one of the Riptides. Does get some good hits there. We do have a Jet Tango being gunned down as well. Bears trying to push their way forward, trying to save his. The Riptides cannot crush bears. They will slowly gun down the bears. And now the Riptides are getting focused down thanks to these hammer tanks and the terror drones. Does get a nice snare there as well. Hammer tanks don't have any extra guns. Bullfrogs charging forward, trying to pursue the aircraft. Got some chopper VXs up here as well. Cyan's not making any advance forward into his opponent's base. We do have a forward MCV now pulled out by Cyan. You have a single wall segment here just to neither economy line. Oh, so annoying. Looks like it's going for a bomb and run. We do got a... Don't see a Striker VXs, but do got some Jet Tangoos. Over here, looks like the Red Apollo does find some hits there onto the Science Apollos, but we do got some Bullfrogs to support here as well. Science Riptides now made some out to sea with his teammates Aerodrome to support. Riptides getting some good shots there. We do have a Hydrofoil jamming one of the Hydrofoil or Riptides. Down south, got a looks like just a bombing run for some Javelin troops going down. Blue Blades taking some good hits there onto the Ore Collector. And over here as well, takes out the Ore Refinery. Riptide's still advancing out to sea. Big bombing run on one of those Riptides. And now here comes the Bears. Let's get a roar off there. Could follow up with Desolator Airstrike if he has that available. All those Peacekeepers do get crushed there. Bears charging forward against good hits there on the Javelin troops, taking them out. Hammer tanks are received quite a bit of fire. Got Molotovs being thrown at the garrison, clearing out the garrison entirely. The bombing run does get on the hammer tank there, but I think he overkilled right there. And it's continuously throwing Molotovs there, so everything that gets hopped in there instantly dies. Oh, it looks like the airfield is being camped by the Bullfrogs. They receive a bit of damage there, but they do escape. Tsunate's charging forward. He did not realize a single wall segment there, stopping from actually collect. Actually, no, he actually had ore in the back of it, so he actually got the ore, just couldn't deposit it off for some odd reason. And do got these Jet Tango's harassing Yellow's ore refinery or ore collector. More bomb runs raining on in. There are some Striker VXs for support. It does have a Javelin troop inside the garrison. Could throw some more in there. Some things are making their way out to sea. Riptides are here to support as well. Striker VXs do get some good hits on the indicator, but does manage to survive. When the Riptides do go down, this Riptide will be focused down as well. Needs perhaps Assault Destroyer to help engage these forces. Bombs, and I think he destroyed his own Prospector there. That could have been an honorable discharge. Paradrone does infect that Prospector. He will not be able to save it. This account saw a lot of these Twin Blades there to the Apollo. Now got a fully heroic Apollo there, and the Prospector does go down. Releasing down some of these multi-gunner turrets there at range, very nice. And down south we got some Striker VXs next to his opponent's ore refinery. And he needs to clean up that wall segment, because it's bugging out severely, because there's not really a hole there for him. Trying to clear out this garrison there. That's probably only one-man garrison. Yep, one-man garrison. We do have some dogs, peacekeepers, and Javelin troops pushing forward. Just send a Javelin. Okay, he does take out that wall segment there. Finally. Air drone does get cleaned up. That may have been a Terra drone surprise. And these hammer tanks are going to be falling on back. The ore refineries have seen quite a bit of fire from the Tsunami tank, and Tsunami tank's honorable discharge does take out the ore refinery. Good bombing runs there onto the hammer tanks. Down south, that single Imperial Warrior may get the kill there on that Prospector. Gonna be withdrawing it now, and does manage to save it, but the Chopper VXS says, nope, you're dead. Javelin troops firing up in the air against good hits there, focusing down these Javelin troops. Does try to get some hits there, does take out one of the Apollos there, very nice. Mecha Tengu out at sea, receiving a bit of damage down here. He does save the refinery from going down. Has redeployed out Prospector. We do have a good number of Tsunami tanks and Chopper VXs. He could try pushing into his opponent's base on the on ground. We got a armor facility here, maybe trying to pull out some more Riptides. Bomb run coming on in, putting out the garrison, destroying it, and everybody and that single man inside of it. Hammer tanks siphoning down the multi-gun turret. They are receiving a bit of damage there from the Javelin troops and the Peacekeepers. Multi-gunner IFE engaging that civilian structure. Hammer tank may just want to go forward for the crushes there onto those Javelin troops. Vindicator's coming for a bomb run, but there's too many Bullfrogs in the region. Over here we do have the multi-gunner IFV seeing a bit of fire. The ore collector does, of course, have gone down, and now Yellow's MCVs receiving quite a bit of damage from these Jet Mega Tengus. The chopper vehicles could transform as well. Yellow's pushing way forward. Looks like he lost his bears. Hammer tanks are still throwing around, crushes down all the peacekeepers. Indicators cannot go for a bombing run. He may lose them. Nope, he did not pursue them far enough. Couple javelin troops on the peacekeeper. And these swim tanks are going to push the way into this naval expansion. It's good hits there onto the prospector. Does take out the prospector there. Good bombing run there onto the tsunami tank. As we got these Riptides pursuing his opponent now. Mega Tengus are backing off the sea. The heroic chopper VX does go down. And now the ore refiner is receiving quite a bit of damage. Over here, we do have the ore collector making its way back onto land. We've got these Riptides in pursuit. And there's a lot of tank clusters there. Ripping apart those guardian tanks, no problem. Tsunami tanks advancing forward as well. Getting some good hits there on the Riptides. And we'll be able to pursue it. MiGs in the sky, taking out these cryocopters and other air forces. Got some bullfrogs as well. Assault destroyers receiving some siphoning from these hammer tanks. Does take out one of the bullfrogs there. Bullfrog seeing quite a bit of fire. Takes out another bullfrog. Infects there. Does get the kill there with the terror drone. John tanks overrunning those forces. He is low in power as well. Just getting repowered up now. John tanks advancing forward. Does get some bomb runs there. One of the Vindicators do go down. John tanks could just charge forward. There's nothing in front of him at the moment. One of the Tsunami tanks do have nano deflectors activated. It's a much needed health regen. And a number of those Apollos are going, jet tankers going down. Two of those Apollos. Now they've got a heroic and elite one. All the jet tankers have gone down. It's out of anti-aircraft support. Guardian tank does get destroyed there, but there's a massive wave of tank clusters there. They can do a lot of damage and quickly focus down even infantry squads. Focus on the oil derrick now. Got some peacekeepers here. Got a fully automatic multi-gunner turret as well. So going to rip apart infantry forces. Let's use nano deflector there, and the tank busters are getting ripped apart from that multi-gunner turret. That was a horrible play. Now only one tsunami tank remains, making its way up north. Over here, Yellow's advancing forward, getting snared and siphoned the assault destroyers. And this one does get the assault destroyer cannon. I wonder if it hit submarines with that thing. Of course, it's on land, but I wonder if the assault destroyer cannon allows them to hit submarines. Good Vindicator bomb run there. The assault destroyer cannon one's still up and going. Got a big wave of Javelin troops and peacekeepers here.
Let's start something up.
And now the prospector is being siphoned, snared, and destroyed. Does take out some of these forces. Tsunami tanks are overrunning Yellow's ground forces as well. Having trouble, does crush that hammer tank there. And do got some Vindicators here going for some nice bombing runs. Does hit the heroic one, does get it killed while frozen, however. Chopper VX cleaning up some of these Riptides. Does take up the Chopper VX there. And Orange forces will stay alive. Stein does have a handful of forces here. Yellow does not really have a force to stop this infantry. It does their strike, of course, can't stop it.
A tough guy, huh?
Good flat cannon hits there by the bullfrogs with the shrinks that will make a bit problematic. And now Orange pushing forward with his teammates' infantry. It's going to be a very effective push. The Tsunami tanks could charge forward, try to crush all the bears. And there's a cryo blast there. Tsunami tanks are not paying attention, and he will get them all frozen there. He will get himself some extra guns there. Very nice. And that cryo blast stopped their opponent's advance in, well, cold. Sorry, that was a horrible pun. Got hammer tanks, bears, and a handful of bullfrogs. He may need some more bullfrogs, but you got the assault destroyer being siphoned down. And it does get snared as well, so that assault destroyer is as good as dead. It will pass this gun off to one of the hammer tanks. Got a twin blade in the air as well. Ore collector will be gunned down by the Riptide. And it has an EMP missile, gets a direct hit there. Cryogeddon also being called on this for as well. And the aircraft carrier does get shrunken down, but these hammer tanks as good as dead. Even the Terradrome ambush will get all cleaned up as well, taking out all those tanks there. Up north, we got a handful of bullfrogs and a single twin blade. Hill has a big force of bears, and his bonus force is a big wave of infantry, so getting off a good mass roar could be very, very useful. Orange Fancy Fort as well with a massive wave of infantry, but got a number of guardian tanks here. Cryogeddon and Blast and all that sort of is on cooldown. Guardian tank goes down. Lasering does not do any damage. Does shrink down couple of tsunami tanks. Up north, the Yellow's advanced fortress bears. Does get some good roars there. The veteran ones won't get affected by it all too much. The assault destroyer is being snared. Got the twin blades in the mix as well. These forces swords just standing there menacingly. We got another EMP missile there, getting a good hit there. Aircraft carrier is doing good work. We do have a final squadron being called on in, and it was actually pretty effective. Usually that's not very effective. Orange going to make his advance, does have a good ground force of infantry and tanks. Has some anti-aircraft support as well, which is very important. And now here comes a mass damage by the Charging Forward. Does use Emperor's Rage on his infantry as well. Charging Forward's guardian tanks trying to crush as much infantry as possible. He's doing great. Almost all the peacekeepers down, just one remaining. Guardian tanks cannot skip past those tsunami tanks in order to crush his opponent's infantry. They do move slow, so they back off, give him some time there, shrink down some of those tsunami tanks as well. Cryocops now shrinking down the guardian tanks from his teammate. And we've got the Apollos now engaging the Cryocopters now. Got Cryogeddon being called on right there. It's going to be deadly. It is going to be very deadly there. Satellites being called on by his teammates as well. And Cash Bound as well. So Yellow's finished off his teammates' opposing army there while getting a lot of cash there. Orange still has a bit of a force there, harassing the naval expansion as well. Will be making his way up north, trying to pursue this naval expansion now. The aircraft carrier did a good job of that, by the way. Blue's eyeing for counterattack. He needs some more tank busters to hold the line. He does have a good amount of infantry. Does throw tank busters inside the garrison. Does have a defender corps. Stomp tanks still push on forward, but will be whipped away and destroyed now. Cyan's Apollo and Red's Apollos engaging each other. And does get shot down now. And there goes the Vindicator as well. Reds. I am not sure where that aircraft carrier may have went. The aircraft carrier may be dead, actually. Does get a kill there. There's too many MiGs for these Apollos. Does get one of the MiGs when the Apollos do go down in return. Wait, that aircraft carrier is still there? No, that's maybe a fresh aircraft carrier because it's unvetted. Up north, Twin Blade getting some good hits there onto the Prospector. Retrade looks like it has been researched. All the MiGs go down. Got both Apollos and Jet Tengus, and there goes the Twin Blade. Oh, oh wait, no, that was Toxic Corrosion. Not Toxic Corrosion. Yes, Toxic Corrosion is the ability where you cast it on one of your own vehicles and to make it bleed out corrosive material, right? It's such a rare ability, I always forget the name. Ore Collector receiving a bit of fire right there. Does take out one of those units. Now the Riptides are going on down. Over here, we got these Twin Blades flying about. Thank you for the follow, Ruthie1, Ruueih1. I have no idea how to exactly pronounce that. We got a good wave of infantry right here. We also do even have a Natasha out on the field. Howdy. Yes, airstrike does come forward as well. Was that Delta Strike? Was that two? It looks like just one right there, but I could have sworn I saw two aircraft. We do have the Chopper VX pushing forward, does claim one of the power plants. Oh, I have a big playlist if you want to take a look at that. We got a number of Apollos pushing way forward, getting some good hits there on all the jet tangos. Jet tangos getting ripped apart. All of them have gone down. Now the Chopper VXs are going through a mass transform. Oh crap, that's a cryo cannons from both sides. How did I miss this? Chopper VXs going for some crushes there, getting blown up as well. Honorable discharges. This units may be, they're starting to unthaw now. Now the Empire player has a lot of forces on the ground. Cyan has a battered, bruised force. We got a lot of bullfrogs pushing way forward. Now we've got the infantry advancing forward as well.
Withstand their attack.
We do got the Snom tanks advancing forward, trying to crush these various forces. Does get some crushes there, multiple crushes there. And we got these Snom tanks now going on down. But we still have a massive wave of infantry. Need some more anti-aircraft forces. More Striker VXs are in order. Takes out some of the Riptides there. Getting some good hits there on the Riptide. And that frozen Snom tank still causing a bit of trouble. Mr. Red's pushing forward as well with Athena and Assault Destroyers. Garrison starts going on down as well. There's also some, there's a Terror Drone there, some Conscript. D4 being picked off. I think Yellow's overran. I think Blue is getting wooded away. Doing some good bomb runs there, but I think Yellow is done for. Losing the War Factory there, getting some good hits there. Assuming the Super Reactor doesn't blow up half his army, I think Yellow's done for. Horse makes way forward. Got some Twin Blades here engaging the Empire infantry. Got some Bullfrogs here as well. Another armor facility. And there goes the Super Reactor. Refineries are going down. These are, long depleted. Battle Lab is low power. We do have refinery down here. We do have the Soviet MCV here as well. So the Soviet players are not out of the game just yet. Just severely crippled quadriplegic at this point in time. The Orange is seeing a bit of fire there. We do have an aircraft carrier bombarding his base. A Soviet player, if he can stay alive, even just to keep an MCV alive, he's able to at least bring his protocols to support his teammate. But now here comes this various force pushing way forward. This ore mine's down to 5,000 credits. He needs to just sell off this region. Grab the ore collectors, maybe get a Crusher Crane and crush both those ore collectors. Does have a decent force here, but the MCV just may need to just pack on up. I don't know what more he can do right there. Desolator Aerostrike is definitely the, I always forget what's the level 2 one called. Great hits there on those Bullfrogs, getting 2 kills there. MCV's charging forward, getting some great infantry kills there. The Assault Destroyer needs to turn on its gun, but there goes the Soviet MCV. Soviet players just down to a Crusher Crane and a Reactor. Rez making his way up north. Do that. Ooh, Surgical Strike. Surgically removes Athena, allowing the crowd again to melt everything or freeze everything. That was a great surgical strike. That's maybe one of the best surgical strikes I've ever seen. Because it was literally a surgical strike. It did its job description and did it well. And it looks like the Soviet player has been sort of defeated. The Athena cannon is still firing. Another Soviet player just surrendered. And the other player is back out of the game. This is Anagrade saying thank you for watching and on to the next replay. Though that's probably going to be my last replay for tonight. Everyone have a good evening and get some good